All right, let's see if I remember how to film. Hello, beautiful friends. I'm Lauren, and welcome to my beauty nook. It has been a while since I filmed, but I'm back. I needed a little break. Lots of crazy stuff was happening. Everything's good, and I'm back now. So today I am bringing you my finale for the Pan That Palette and Pan That Face Palette challenge for 2019. I'm not necessarily done with these, but these were some of the first projects that I started when I started panning, and I have learned a lot, and I'm just kind of reevaluating my goals, and yeah, I'm okay with where it's at. So I'm deciding to end these early. I will explain that when we get in there. I've hit some very significant goals, and I feel good about these products, and I'm ready to kind of clean house and get moving on some of the more heavy-hitting projects that I've started recently. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to show you my face palette first, and we'll talk about that, and then I'll do the eyeshadow palette at the end. So let's see here, I started both of these, I think in June. I may have started the face palette in July. So it's been a good 5-month long project. And when I designed my face palette, I chose 5 individual pans of face product. So 1 powder, 1 bronzer, 2 blushes, and a highlighter. And I didn't really know if I was going to be able to finish them. It was my first time ever working on a bronzer. I had never hit pan on a blush before, and it was my first time working on a highlighter as well. So I wasn't sure what the progress was going to be like, or if I was going to finish them, if I was going to hit pan on them, whatnot. So I'm going to show you a couple pictures of where this started and where it is now. If you've missed some of my earlier updates, I originally had a different blush in, but before I even worked on it at all, I switched it out for 2 other blushes. So you'll see the original blush in the first picture, and then the second picture is just 2 weeks later when I swapped the blushes. So I'll show you those. And then this is what it looks like now. A little bit different. Okay, so let's talk about this. So I absolutely zoomed through this face powder. I have very oily skin. I powder like nobody's business. I just drown myself in setting powder, and this went really, really fast. It was only 3 grams, so that was easy peasy. The bronzer, I'm done with. This is new since the last update. My bronzer is done. This was a big, I think it was 8 grams, and it was a Tarte bronzer from a holiday set. And I'm really excited that I've gone through this. And now that I'm actually using bronzer, I am going through bronzer quicker than I thought I would. So this is done. Next are my 2 blushes, and I hit pan on both of them. I hit side pan on both of them. And then I kind of realized that I really like these colors. They're kind of unique to my collection. This one specifically is very unique to my collection. I don't have any other hot pink blushes, and I just really, really like both of these. And there are other blushes in my collection that I would much rather move out than these 2. I don't mind having these 2 around. These little tiny Ben Nye pans are not hard to keep around, and yes, they are old, but they still perform beautifully and perfectly fine. They smell fine. I'm not worried about them. So I hit pan, hit side pan, and then kind of stopped working on them because I was like, I don't really want them gone anymore. I want other things gone. So I've moved on, and I've been working on other blushes. And then this highlighter is also from the same Tarte holiday palette as this bronzer. And this one I have been working on, and it's got a nice big pan, nice big side pan. And I'm just kind of chipping away at this. I use it pretty much every day. I've got it on today. It's really icy. It is definitely my least favorite highlighter in my collection, but I don't have that many highlighters. I think I have 6 total, and one of them is almost done, and then this one is getting close. So what I do a lot with this one is I will apply this with a kind of a bigger, fluffier brush, and then I'll go in and kind of like spot highlight with a color that I like better, which I didn't do today, but that's kind of what I've been doing. So this is really the only one that I'm working on now. And so it doesn't make sense to keep this face palette as is and keep the project going, just for this one highlighter. So I'm just going to keep this around, keep working on it, and then in 2020, I'll probably, if it's not done by then, because I've got a month and a half left, it'll either go into another project or I'll just finish it. I'm going to keep working on it, and you'll either see it in an empties or I'll roll it into something else. But that is the face palette. I'm happy with this, and I'm done working on it. So these blushes are going to go back into their homes, and I've already got at least one other blush in a project, so a couple blushes in projects. So I'm working on other things, and I'm totally happy with this. So there's that one. And then my eyeshadow palette is kind of a similar story. I won't spoil exactly what I did, but I made significant progress on it, and I'm just reevaluating how I want to pan eyeshadow. And yeah, so let me show you where we're at, or where we've been, and then I'll show you where we're at, and then we'll talk about the palette. So here's a little showcase of where the palette has been, and this little way of showing pictures is totally inspired by Amanda D. This is how she does hers, and I was like, oh, that's so brilliant. So if you haven't checked out her Pan That palette, go check it out. But here is where we started, and up until the last update. And then this is where the palette is at now. And yes, you are seeing correctly, there is pan in every single shadow in here now. So this is gonna be hard to do without blinding you. I'll turn it upside down, see if we can do that. So Satin Sheets is now totally gone. This was the first eyeshadow that I ever hit pan on, and it is now the first shadow that I've ever finished, which is exciting. And then when I started this project, I think I already had pan on Molasses Chip, yeah, as well. And I was very, very close on Mocha. I don't think I had pan on anything else when I started. So I have hit 16 pans. Well, I've hit 14 pans since we started, finished a shadow. And there's pan in everything now. So I'm pretty happy with this. I've never, like before doing this, I had never really tried to finish eyeshadow. I'm really excited about finishing Satin Sheets. That was one of my favorite shadows for a very, very long time. And now I've kind of like added more extraordinary shadows to my collection, and that one I needed to like give it its time and say goodbye to it. So I'm not really working on this palette as a whole anymore either. I went kind of ham for a while, which is how I got all these pans. And now I'm at a point where I'm not really motivated to finish it anymore. And it's not that I'm bored with the palette. It's just that I have a lot of like projects and things that I'm doing over on Instagram. I'm doing a new series that's like inspired by different characters or shows or books or whatever. I don't know exactly what it's going to turn into, but I'm doing more like inspired looks, and most of them don't come from this palette. And so I think going forward, what's going to be more helpful for this is if I just focus on 1 or 2 shadows at a time and just try to finish them. So right now I'm working on Divinity and trying to finish that. And I'm just using that as my primer setting shade every day. And then I'm also kind of trying to work on Earl Grey. And so I'm just trying to incorporate that into looks every now and then. Basically, when I have a shadow that can be used from this palette, I'll choose this palette. But I'm not intentionally working on these shadows like I was, with the exception of like one or two at a time. So right now, it's kind of these two, and a little bit. I'm motivated to finish Molasses Chip, but I'm just not wearing like bronze ever. So that's kind of where I'm at. So I'm also choosing to officially end this project, and I'm not going to stop working on this palette, but I am going to like loosen up the reins a little bit on it. I'm planning on next year, I think I'm planning on joining the Fantastic Ladies Pan That Palette Challenge. I wasn't sure about it when it got announced, and the more I think about it, the more I'm like, yeah, that's probably more in line with what I need to do right now. So I won't give any spoilers because you'll have to wait until the first of the year. But I think I am going to join that and prioritize some things that need to be prioritized. That's your spoiler for today. Okay, so that is the end of this project, and I am very glad at the lessons that it's taught me. I've learned a lot about panning. I've learned a lot about my own panning style, and I think at this point I am more focused on rotating through my palettes kind of equally, and maybe targeting like a shadow here and a shadow here, and not necessarily full palettes. And I am trying to do a series of like 3 looks, 1 palette with all of my palettes. So something like that makes a big impact on a project like this. But I'm still panning eyeshadows, and I'm still working on eyeshadows. Over on Instagram I joined the Pan in Everything challenge, and that is essentially trying to hit pan in everything that can have pan hit upon it. I don't know where that was going. The goal is to hit pan in everything. I'm choosing 6 products at a time and focusing on them. So that is going to consume a lot of my panning journey, but that is kind of what I want to do, is I want to hit pan on everything and then choose the products that I've hit pan on to put in other projects. So that's kind of where we're at. If you guys want me to, since I'm ending this, I could move Pan in Everything to YouTube instead of just doing it on Instagram. So let me know if that is something that you want to see. And just general housekeeping for my channel. I think I've realized that like I'm probably not going to get every update for every project up on YouTube. It's just kind of how it is. Like I have a lot of projects going on. Maybe eventually I'll like calm down and just have fewer bigger projects going on. But right now I've got, I think like 15 projects going on, and I just can't get all of them filmed every month. And not all of them are on YouTube. I think I've got maybe like 8 on YouTube, but still, that's like 2 videos a week, and I'm a full-time mom, and like I have a million things going on. So I'm doing my best, and you will get updates, but they may not be every update. And for some projects, you may get an intro and a finale. And that's kind of how it is. If you want to see in between updates, please come follow me on Instagram, because I'm probably going to do like an intro video for like the 3-month projects. I'll probably do an intro video, a middle of the road Instagram update, and a finale on YouTube. And then for the bigger projects, it's worked out that I've been doing an update like every 2 months for some of them. So that's kind of how things are going, and I am just trying to do my best at all of it. So, you know, updates may get skipped. I'm not going to apologize for it because it's, you know, it's just what's happening. And I am of the opinion that you don't need to apologize for things that you can't control. So that's where we're at. That's kind of Pan That Palette update, finale, and channel updates where I'm at. Please feel free to chat down in the comments, ask me any questions that you want, and tell me if you're doing a Pan That Palette, how's it going? I am excited to say sayonara to this one for a little bit. I am probably just gonna like flat out take a break from it for, I don't know, maybe a couple weeks and focus on some of my other palettes, and then I'll get back to using one shadow at a time until someday it will be done. Maybe. We shall see. All right. That is it from me. I hope you have a wonderful day. What is my outro? I hope you have a great day. Thank you so much for watching my video. Thank you for stopping by my little corner of the internet. I hope you have a great day. Bye.